We got some high stakes testing coming up, right? We started thinking like, how do we prep kids for this test? We found a way to do that through our thought process with NewRoot. For the first 10 minutes before any high stakes test, we have kids sit and write about their anxiety around the test, because now you just freed up brain space for yourself so you can actually take that test and knock it out the park. As we do that, we're starting to see some really good test scores too.
NewRoot is an organization that's restorative justice focused and SEL focused to help adults to accumulate these skills in their toolbox so that then they can broaden up the scope of students and also for staff in educational institutions.
Chicago Public Schools has made an intentional investment into restorative practices work, especially over the last couple of years, knowing that when we look over the past decade of the work, we understood that to really take us to where we need to be, we need teams of people in our district who can support the good people in the schools doing the work on the ground. That requires a lot of intentional partnership with folks like NewRoot.
My relationship with NewRoot started at Morgan Park High School. One of the things that we did very well together is we created what we call the reentry project. Once a student had received 2 to 3 more days of suspension, we wanted to make sure that our students were then able to be re-entered into the school environment, and what was going to be the protocol, the policy, the guidance that we would walk those students through to ensure that they were restored when they were re-entering the school, that they had a go-to person that they could trust, and they are able to do that successfully.
One of my favorite teachers, her name is Miss Coos, and I really appreciate her. She's very helpful when it comes to me understanding the real world in my life, and just when it comes to like scholarships, recommendation letters, she's always the first person that I'm gonna go to.
At the end of the day, it's gonna be the student that decides. A teacher sets the rules, a student decides if they want to follow them.
Sometimes schools know what they need, sometimes they don't. And then we'll show up and we'll do a wellness check, which is basically like getting staff together in circles, which is a restorative practice, and then we ask them certain questions within those circles to gather information.
Some days I'll hold restorative conversations, other days I'll hold peace circles, other days presenting RJ or SEL curriculum to staff for them to roll out in their classrooms or just in their school in general.
With the trainings that NewRoot provides, they're very thorough, and I think that people are able to understand what restorative justice actually is.
Some schools want me to specifically focus on maintaining the peace room where students can come in and just take a quick break, check themselves, right? If a conflict arises, then we'll use that private space, that private room to address the situation.
We are currently in the Cathar Peace Room. NewRoot really helped me establish my peace room, establish the guidelines. We worked really hard at creating our mission and our vision and our core values just for our peace room.
I think what NewRoot does for us is it allows an opportunity for us to be more proactive than reactive when it comes to consequences for kids, right? And really getting down to root cause of the why. Why did you do this? Why did this happen? And spending the time to really acknowledge those things versus like the consequences has been transformational for our kids and for our staff.
As I started working with NewRoot, I kind of got to see that these students actually do have underlying issues. So by being able to talk with them and understanding why they were acting certain ways, it got me to open my eyes to realize like, okay, this is just not a school level thing, it's something bigger than this, and we need to kind of peel those layers back.
What we're seeing over the past 3 years is a decrease in the number of referrals that are written and the number of suspendable days for our students at Neal Math and Science Academy, which has always been, I think, one of our main goals, right? To reduce the number of suspensions and find ways for kids to be more prepared in the classroom, ready for learning.
We saw an increase in attendance, a drastic change in our suspension rate. It definitely went down quite a bit because the work that they've done shows. Somebody like myself who started out with being pretty much in a punitive mindset, no wiggle room at all whatsoever, to somebody who's restorative first. I feel like if I can do it, then anybody can do it.
When I think about the work that we still have ahead of us, I think that this is just the beginning. And so that requires a lot of intentional partnership with folks like NewRoot. That requires a lot of intentional engagement across the district. Their vision is clear. their impact is real. And it was exciting to hear them talk about the work that they do. That's when I knew that this organization is a whole healthy organization that is ready to show up for our schools every day.
And when people are ready for that as an entire team or as an entire group or as an entire family as we have here, sky's the limit in terms of the positivity that comes out of that.
I love my partnership with NewRoot. The programs, the professional development, the resources are all there. Continue to be a thought partner in the work with principals and their staff. Continue to be open for new ideas and to continue to do what you do.